These AI models are trained on publicly available data, all the data on the internet. So if you look at ChatGPT or Anthropic, Grok, Llama, what have you, they're all trained on all of the data on the internet. In other words, publicly available data. But for these models to reach their peak value, you need to not train them not just on publicly available data, but you need to make privately owned data available to those models as well. And that's where Oracle plays a particularly important role, because most of the world's high-value data is already in an Oracle database. We just had to change that database so that Oracle database can take the data that's already in the Oracle database and make it available to AI models for reasoning. So the AI model can reason on not just public data, but on private data.
Now pause for a second, because this may be the part of the AI revolution nobody wants to say clearly. The machines have already eaten the public internet. Every article, every image, every forum, every post, every piece of public information they could reach, that was only the beginning. Now the next frontier is something much more personal. Your private data, your medical records, your financial records, your customer history, your messages, your face, your voice, your fingerprint, your habits, your decisions, your entire digital life. And the terrifying part is how casually this is being described. Not as surveillance, not as a privacy crisis, not as the biggest transfer of personal information in human history, but as a business opportunity. Because AI has hit a wall. Public data is no longer enough. To make these systems more powerful, more profitable, and more predictive, they need the data that was never supposed to be public in the first place. And once your private life becomes fuel for an artificial brain, the question is not just who owns the data. The question is who owns the power that comes from understanding you better than you understand yourself. Because if AI can reason across your records, predict what you will buy, identify your body, track your behavior, and make decisions faster than any human, then privacy is no longer just about keeping secrets. Privacy becomes the last line between freedom and control. And the public internet, that was only the appetizer.
An AI model, right now what's called a multimodal AI model, is made up of several neural networks. Like your brain has several parts. It's kind of a perfect analogy. To do vision, you use one part of your brain. To do language, you use a different part of your brain. When you build an AI model, you use a different neural network for vision. Seeing something, seeing its edges, seeing its shape, seeing its color, seeing it move. And then a third neural network to classify it and organize it and reason with that data. So very much like our brains, a modern AI model is a multimodal model, but the much, much larger opportunity, the one that will truly change the world, isn't the creation of the models themselves, the training of the models. What will change the world is when we start using these remarkable electronic brains, and that's what they are. These are remarkable electronic brains to solve humanity's most difficult and enduring problems. Well, what's going on right now is a series of companies are spending vast fortunes training these AI models on publicly available data on the internet, enormous amounts of data. And this is AI training. It's very apparent after a few years of it. It's the largest, fastest growing business in human history, bigger than the railroads, bigger than the Industrial Revolution. And it is a whole new world that is dawning. The smartest people I know are investing fortunes. To be specific, they're investing their fortunes in building and training these AI models. That's how important they are. That's how extraordinary they are. And by the way, Elon, Mark, Sam, in alphabetical order, all really smart guys, extraordinary people. There'll be people spending money on AI because almost every tech company these days call themselves an AI company, but they're not. A lot of them are not. But AI, in terms of its value, this is the highest value technology we have ever seen by far. Well, how would a robot learn how to clean your house or scramble eggs or play the guitar? Well, it would just watch an internet video. It's connected to the internet. It can learn to play piano just like we would watching an internet video, except it would do it a little faster because it can play the internet video at very, very high speed and learn to play that piece by Chopin in about 5 seconds. AI robots will be much better surgeons than the best doctors. There's this very famous surgery started by Dr. Mose, who actually would take cancer lesions off patients' faces. And he was so famous for it because he did the least damage. He took the least amount of tissue off your skin. So cosmetically, he had fantastic results. He would take a couple of layers of skin off and then take the skin over to a microscope and look at it, cut a little bit of tissue, look at it on a microscope. AI robots don't play fair. Their vision, the vision on the robot, it is microscopic. They can see. They don't need a microscope to see individual cells. They don't need a microscope to see where the cancer ends and the healthy tissue begins. And their coordination, they're better surgeons than we are, not because they're smarter than we are, but because they have better hand-eye coordination. Their eyes are way better than ours, and the precision of their hands is way better than ours. But there's a big gotcha on these models, and that is the models do not get trained on your private data because for some reason people want to keep their private data private, and that's not going to change. But people also want these models to reason on their private data. Have your cake, eat it too. I want to keep my data private. I don't want to share it with anybody else. However, I'd like to use this enormously powerful tool to reason on my private data. And that's what Oracle has been applying itself to in terms of solving that particular problem. They reason like we reason. They do deductions, they do inferencing, they do calculations, they have strategy, they have rules. All the techniques, the reasoning techniques that we use, they simulate and use, but they think a lot faster than we do and solve problems a lot faster than we do, or they solve really complicated problems that we can't solve at all. These models can answer your questions. They can generate computer code. A lot of the code that Oracle is writing, Oracle isn't writing. Our AI models are writing. We just tell the model what we want the program to do, and then the AI comes up with a step-by-step process to actually do it. We don't write the procedure. We declare our intent, but the model writes the step-by-step procedure, that thing we commonly think of as a computer program. We'll attach that model, the model of your choice, to not only the public data. The model's already connected to the public data. That's done. But we give you the ability to add your private data to the model's library of information and knowledge. So the model can reason across not just public data, but also private data while keeping your private data private, not sharing it with anybody else. That's very, very important. And it's not easy to do it in a highly secure way. The new Oracle database is called an AI database, not just because AI is fashionable. The new Oracle database is called an AI database because it has this RAG capability. It has the ability to take any of the data in the Oracle database and make it accessible to the AI model by vectorizing it. So since a lot of your data is in an Oracle database already, you simply have the Oracle database, put that data in a format the model will understand, and that's called a vector format. And the Oracle database will vectorize any data that you want to make available to the model. Let's say you have a lot of data in OCI Object Store, or Amazon Object Store for that matter, and you'd like to make that data available to the model, to the Oracle AI Data Platform. No problem. The Oracle database can go into OCI Object Store and vectorize and create what's called a vector index to data in OCI Object Store. It can go into Amazon cloud storage and vectorize portions of that belong to you and make that accessible for reasoning by the multimodal model. So you're not restricted to data that's just in the database. The Oracle database can vectorize anything that's in an Oracle database, a different cloud, and make that data easily accessible to the AI model for reasoning. Vibe coding, right? It sounds very Gen Z, which is just say what you want the program to do, generate the prototype, and try it out. Don't think about it too hard. Just get a feeling for it. Feel the vibe, I guess. You can use English. You can generate computer programs directly from English.
This is where the AI revolution becomes much more personal, because until now, most people thought AI was trained on the public internet. Articles, images, videos, forums, social media posts, everything publicly available online. But now we are being told that public data was only the beginning. The next frontier is private data, your medical history, your financial records, your customer profile, your messages, your documents, your voice, your face, your fingerprint, your habits, your entire digital life. And the disturbing part is not just that this is happening, the disturbing part is how casually it is being described. Not as surveillance, not as a privacy crisis, not as one of the biggest transfers of personal information in human history, but as progress, as innovation, as a business opportunity. That is what should make people stop and think, because AI has already consumed what was publicly available. But if these systems are going to become even more powerful, they need something deeper. They need data that was never meant to be public in the first place. And this is where companies like Oracle become extremely important, because private data already lives inside databases, corporate records, customer histories, hospital systems, government systems, cloud storage, business files, the kind of information people assumed was locked away, protected, or at least separate from the AI machine. But now the plan is to make that data usable for AI reasoning. That sounds technical, but the meaning is very simple. The machine will not just search your data, it will reason over it, it will connect patterns, it will predict behavior, it will decide what you are likely to buy, what you are likely to need, where you fit, what you are worth, and what action should be taken next. That is not just data storage anymore. That is power. Because whoever controls the system that understands private data controls something much bigger than information. They control prediction, they control influence, they control decision-making. And when that gets connected with biometrics, the picture becomes even more serious. No passwords, no codes, no keys, just your face, your voice, your fingerprint, your body. And they sell this as better security, better privacy, better convenience. But ask yourself, if your password is stolen, you can change it. If your face becomes the password, what exactly do you change? If your fingerprint is compromised, what do you replace? If your body becomes your identity inside a system run by machines, where is the escape door? That is why this moment matters, because privacy is no longer just about hiding embarrassing information or keeping secrets. Privacy is about freedom. It is about whether you can exist without being fully mapped, predicted, ranked, and managed by systems you do not control. And the most dangerous part is that people will accept it because it will be convenient. AI will help doctors, AI will help businesses, AI will help write code, AI will predict problems faster, AI will make services smoother, and yes, some of that will be genuinely useful. But the same system that helps you can also study you. The same system that protects you can also monitor you. The same system that predicts what you need can also decide what you are allowed to access. That is the trade-off. And once private data becomes a fuel for artificial intelligence, there may be no going back, because the public internet was only the appetizer. The real meal is private human life. And the question we should all be asking is very simple. Who gave them permission to turn our lives into training material for machines more powerful than any government, company, or citizen fully understands? Because if AI knows your records, your face, your voice, your habits, your health, your money, and your behavior, then privacy is no longer a feature. It becomes the final line between human freedom and total control.